Alright, so let's talk about the device. This device comes basically in two different options. There is the single mode and there is the area mode. You can find this option if you go into your device settings and then you turn on the advanced settings and then you go to affect all objects in a zone. If you turn this to no, then it looks like this and it can only be handled one single prop. If you turn this to yes, it basically becomes a big rectangular thing and you can put multiple things in it and you can even make it bigger and smaller by using these options over here. So the main difference between these two is actually that this one over here can only handle one prop at a time, while this one can actually handle multiple props. So you can see that I have two chairs in this area of the prop manipulator and I also have two chairs in the area of this one. But you can see as soon as we start the game, so now you can see if we step on this trigger device and make all of these disappear, you can see that only the ones that are in the zone here disappeared and only one of those which are affected by the single one. So make sure that if you want to use multiple props, then you always use the area zone. A very interesting fact about the prop manipulation device is that even though you can make things disappear, the value of the wall that I put down here is still there. So you can see if we quickly start the game, I can make this wall disappear, but I can still build on it. So you can see here that this wall is over here. And if I jump here, you can see that I can still build on this invisible wall. And the reason for that is that obviously the wall is just hidden and not destroyed. And that makes it possible to place things even though we technically cannot see a wall here. When we talk about Fortnite Creative, we can basically have 4 different types of things in our maps. One of them is obviously devices, so I have the character device over here. Then we have normal props like this chair. We have stuff like walls, floors, and ceilings, which can be transformed into props, but by default they obviously not come in props. And then we also have terrain pieces. So very important is that you cannot use prop manipulation managers on normal devices. I think that makes a lot of sense, but I still want to say this because it's pretty important. You cannot just randomly make the character device disappear with a prop manipulation device. But for everything else other than devices, you can use this. You can use this for normal props, obviously. You can use this for walls and terrain pieces and even indestructible pieces. So that means that you can now manipulate basically anything in Fortnite Creative with the prop manipulation device, and you don't have to use this device, which is the trick tile, which basically does the same thing as the prop manipulation device, but is 10 times worse to use, and just makes the life so much more easy. Alright, so let's talk about the first use case for the prop manipulation device, and this one doesn't require any channels or anything technical at all. The cool thing about this device is that you can now turn stuff that is usually breakable, for example this bench over here, which I turned into a wall. You can see you can break this. But in the prop manipulation device there's an option for health, and which means you can basically turn items that are usually breakable, you can turn them invulnerable. Which means you can create stuff like this, where you can see that these walls are not breakable now. They look pretty cool if you hit them, but you can leave a little room here to break, like a little center thing in the middle, break this open, and then have a nice area where you can go in. So let's look a little bit more in depth into this device, and we're going to look at the channels of this device. There's the two most obvious ones, which are obviously show props and hide props. I don't think I have to explain this one too much. The one is obviously showing a prop, the other one is hiding. You can also have this by default. If you want to have a prop hidden at the start of the game, you can turn this to true, and if you want to show, then do it to false. But there's 3 other settings which are super cool, which are very interesting to use. First of all, I want to go over the on damage transmit on and destroy when transmit on. This means every time I destroy or damage a prop which this prop manipulator is attached to, I can send signals. That means, for example, we can create our own harvesting techniques where, for example, if we punch this, we actually get the ores that we attach to this. So, for example, you can see here that I have channel 2 and channel 3 on damage. So every time I hit this rock, I'm gonna get the obsidian ores here. So that is done with the item granted over here, and if we destroy it, we're gonna get this crystal. And if we now start destroying this, you can see that we get the obsidian ore here, and if we fully destroy it, you can see that we get also the 10 crystals, which in the end leaves us open to create completely new and unique things for each of the things that we can destroy and basically damage in the game. So you can see that the consumables gallery is full of cool stuff which you can use for this, and it really has a big potential. But for example, what if you want this rock to never get destroyed? If you just want to use it as a place where people can farm stone or something, then in here there's also a cool setting which is called Restore Health when receiving from. What I recommend doing is every time you damage this, you just turn this to the same setting. So basically every time you hit it, it restores and you can just punch it over and over again. So now you can see with the two settings combined, I can start punching this and it will never get destroyed. It doesn't matter where I punch it from. I can go here, I can go here. I still get the stones, or the obsidian in my case, but it never gets destroyed. And I think this is a really cool way in how to use this device. And for the last one, I basically created a mini boss fight. You can see that we can shoot Tomato Head here, and then he even heals himself. And now you know how these techniques work. And if we're gonna quickly start shooting him and actually killing him, you can even see that there's also a new device which I put into this. So I think this one is pretty cool and really useful. And this entire thing was just possible because of the prop manipulation device. And you can see that we basically used all of the settings here. Obviously, but the hide and show thing, I think these are the most obvious ones that everybody is going to use. They're easy to use. But the restore health, the damage, and destroy on, they're so versatile and you can use them for quite a few things. As you can see here, we use the restore health. So basically, you have to kill the boss inside of like a time limit or something. We used the timer device for that. So we have like, I think this one over here, we have like 6 seconds to kill the boss. Otherwise, he's going to start healing himself. Then he heals himself for 3 seconds. And then we have to destroy him. If we damage him, we're going to send signals. And if we completely destroy him, you can actually send the signal to the pop-up dialog, which is also new. If you want a tutorial on that one as well. And then, for example, we have achievement unlocked. This is the final boss or something. And you have a very easy boss fight created with just a few devices and the new prop manipulation device. Super easy to do. I can't wait to see what you guys are create with this. So definitely let me know on Twitter or something at RichieTunes. And I'll see you guys back in the next video. Thank you guys for watching this one, and bye.